This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
WrestleMania 20 got 83% thumbs up in the Observer, 10% thumbs down, 6.7% thumbs in the middle. Lots of different votes for best match poll. Jericho and Christian got 19. The Evolution Rock and Sock got 26. Eddie and Kurt got 81. But overwhelmingly, our triple threat main event got 867 votes. Everyone agreed that was the best match on the show. Overall, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Oh, I thumbs up definitively. The moments that I can remember with clarity and can see colors and all those things, it has to rank as one of the best WrestleManias emotionally for me as a broadcaster. And to see the journeys of two guys that were always perceived to be too small or too something. They don't have the charisma or whatever it may be, whatever the excuse may be that somebody's creating. I love that. I love the underdog to win. And I always perceived that Eddie and Chris were underdogs, and they prevailed. Their dreams and the journeys they were on, their dreams came true. And to be there to be able to call it and document it was really an honor for me.
When do you think Vince came around on the idea of these two guys being the leaders of his company? For years and years, we did hear that old narrative that, you know, if you don't stand out in an airport, and Vince was a South guy and the promotion was the land of the giants. It feels like when WCW goes down, Vince is looking for, hey, what's our next thing going to be? WrestleMania 18 had Jericho and Hunter on top, but really it was all about Rock and Hogan. And then at 19, he's going to put himself in there with Hulk Hogan, again, doubling down on nostalgia on the undercard. But the main event is two legitimate, incredible performers with Angle and Lesnar. And now here we're trying something different, sort of the workhorses, the smart fans' favorites. Was this something Vince had to come around to? Was he really sold on it, or was he just looking for the next big thing?
I think the guys on the roster and a lot of us that were close to the scenario kept encouraging Vince that we were traveling in the right direction, that these two guys would be great representatives, and they're going to ensure that every time they're in the ring, they're going to have a great match. They're going to be solid at worst. So I just think it took a little bit of gentle persuasion. A song one time, gentle persuasion, sweet persuasion. I don't know. It's irrelevant. I just think it took him a little bit of time. It's just breaking old habits, so to speak, breaking the mold, if you will. But it wasn't automatic. But he saw that those two guys' peers were very supportive of them. Pardon me. And I think Hunter and Sean, looking at potential opponents going forward, I mean, how good does it get? You got Eddie and Benoit that you could be booked with. So I think that was another reason. Everybody wanted to work with Benoit and Eddie. Why wouldn't you? They're maestros. So I think it took him a little while, Conrad, but it soon became so evident. And they had such overwhelming support from the locker room that it could not be ignored.
Meltzer would say, while the indoor setting of Madison Square Garden drew a crowd announced at more than 20,000, which he thought sounded exaggerated.
Of course he did.
It may end up being the most lucrative wrestling show in history. The show grossed in excess of 2.4 million, which we discussed. That's the third largest live gate for a U.S. pro wrestling event, but it's 6th overall in company history as we ran down. But this is also a time where we've got an increase in the pay-per-view buy. You're going from $39.95 to $49.95. And as we said, it drew just a ton of buys. Talk to me about the pricing strategy there. Do you guys have somebody go do a study about what the market will bear? Or does Vince or somebody in accounting just take a stab and say, let's just try it?
I don't think there was any stabs taken. I think there was research done on what the market would bear and what other major pay-per-view boxing events and things of that nature were able to command. You price it to where you think the market will tolerate without holding everybody up. $10 increase is important, but there was always a lot of communal pay-per-view watching. I know folks listening or watching us today can call back on a time where they had their buddies over and they shared the price of the pay-per-view, and they had 6 or 8 guys there, and they would eat and drink and laugh and gamble or whatever, on the outcome. So I think that there was research done, no doubt. The marketing people did tons of research on what the market would bear, and the conclusion was we can do $49.95, and it should feel pretty safe that price tag's not going to run off the normal wrestling fan. And based on the numbers, it didn't.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.